Good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are. This is Sunday streaming. I hope wherever you are today, you're having a good day. It's kind of a muggy Sunday morning here in Orlando, but yeah. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know or you're new to the channel, this is where I take questions once a week from you, the fans. So go ahead and shoot me some questions. I'll go ahead and answer them. Yada, 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 yada. I already see that there's somebody there. 3 watching so far. It'll keep going up in a minute. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Fantastic Four novels, Comic Geek reviews. How are you guys? Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Really early morning here. It's only at 23. I'll probably be on until about 9 o'clock. Gonna be a short stream today. Busy day ahead. Busy, busy. Busy, busy, busy. Hello, Riachi. I don't know how to say that. Sorry. But yeah, if you've got any questions for me, go ahead and shoot them to me in the chat. Like I said, it's going to be a busy day for me. Busy but fun. I like doing this. I'm hungry is what I am. I'm like really, really starving right now. I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm going to finish this and cook up some breakfast. Is Original Sin any good? I've heard it's pretty good. If you know anything about me, I'm not that big of an event guy. And in fact, I'm actually reading right now. I was just in the middle of reading this before I started this. I'm reading the Harbinger Wars event for the Weekly Valiant. This is the deluxe edition hardcover. I'm not a big event guy, as a lot of you know. In fact, I'm kind of tired of events. That's why I typically shy away from them. But I've heard Original Sin isn't bad. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible either. Scribbler Gray, good morning / afternoon. Hey, man, good morning. Morning, Surf Punk. Good morning, Luke. Good, everybody, just good morning, man. The vibe is really good today. Somebody has a question from Amsterdam. All right, go ahead and shoot me the question, man. That's what I'm here for today. Is there a part 2 of Old Man Logan? There is not a part 2 of well, technically there is. Brian Michael Bendis, during the Secret Wars event, took over Old Man Logan. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't read it. Then Jeff Lemire recently, once Old Man Logan was brought into the main Marvel universe, he took over it. And I've heard really great things about Jeff Lemire's Old Man Logan run. I've heard it's really fucking good. I'm looking forward to the collected edition of that. It's got to get a hardcover. That run has to get an official hardcover. It's just a matter of time. So I'm waiting for that to come out to read it. Can you recommend me an omnibus for $60? There's a whole bunch of omnibuses right now that are on sale because Marvel's they're selling a bunch of their stock. Right now, off the top of my head, one of the ones that are on sale that I'd recommend is probably that Hawkeye omnibus. It's for a pretty good price. You usually find it in the ballpark of like 30, 40 bucks right now. It's not bad. Whoa, a lot of questions pouring in. What is the best manga you have ever read? That's easy. 20th Century Boys. Mr. Betty Ford. I'm just reading Fables and really enjoy it. Did you look it up? Hoping for an omnibus though. I read the first like 120 issues of Fables, and then I dropped it. It lost interest for me. After they deal with the main antagonist of I can't remember the guy's name, but the main protagonist around 70 issues in, the series just took a dive for me. It wasn't as great as it was before. That said, leading up to that, it was one of the best series that I was reading. It was fun. It was constantly engaging. I loved all the characters, but it took a bit of a dive after that for me. Are you guys talking about the Annihilation omnibuses? But I also hear that some of the editions are out of print. What do you recommend me to pick up? Or maybe I'll be lucky to find them. Okay, I can actually. All right, I'm actually going to do a video on this. Will we get an Annihilation reprint? Because that's the question that I typically get asked a lot. My quick answer to that is I doubt it. and more so now than before, because Annihilation Conquest just went on one of those sales where Marvel is depleting their entire inventory trying to get rid of books to make room for new books. Conquest is on that list. So what that tells me is that it's nothing is ever guaranteed in stone, because we don't know what Marvel's collected edition department decides to do. They do weird stuff all the time. But it kind of tells me that the chances of an Annihilation reprint are slim now, because they're not going to waste money to reprint something just for it to sit on the shelves for months and months and months and nobody buys it. And nobody was buying Conquest because Annihilation was sold out, and so they had a back order of a whole bunch of books that they couldn't move. What I do think will happen is I think we will get Ultimate Collections. I've been saying that for a while. It would not surprise me if Marvel comes out in their solicits. I think it's pronounced Hachette catalog or whatever. The catalog is coming out. It should be coming out in the next few months or so for the end of the year, and we should be able to see what we're going to get. It would not surprise me if we see Ultimate Collections of that. Is the Sinestro Corps War Omni worth getting if you have the Jeff Johns Green Lantern Omnis? I didn't know there was a Sinestro Corps War Omnibus. But if you have the Jeff Johns Green Lantern Omnibus, you got a huge collection of it. You just don't have the core issues. Manga or American comic books? Which do you prefer? Man, comics are comics. I don't have a real preference as to what I like. If it's a good story, if the art is solid, I'll read it. I don't care. There are a lot of people that have that, and this is just my 2 cents. There are a lot of people out there that have that very close-minded opinion that, oh, if it's manga, I'm not going to read it. I don't do the Japanese style. I don't do manga. I don't do, it's all trash and all this other stuff. If you have that mindset, you are missing out on some of the greatest stories that have been told in probably like the past 20, 30 years. You really are. And you owe it to yourself to broaden your horizons, because you are missing out on a lot of really, really great writing and a lot of really great art, which is part of the reason why I started the Manga Mondays video, to bring awareness to people that, like, look, that's fine if you love American comics. That is great. There's a whole slew of other comics here that are fantastic and that are really great in their own right, and you are being closed-minded and you're missing out on it. So with that said, I don't really have a preference. I mean, I'm really diving hardcore into manga lately, and I've been enjoying it, but that's, me. Do you think Darwin Cook's work will be reprinted anytime soon? I mean, Parker Martini and New Frontier Deluxe, I'm waiting for them. I don't know. That's really hard to tell. You would think that they would have, considering we're coming up to about a year from his death. You would think that they would have already collected a lot of that stuff already, but they haven't. Have I read the Jodorowsky's Metabarons? I have not. I haven't read any of the Jodorowsky stuff, simply because a lot of that stuff, to me, I just haven't bothered looking into the reading order, the Inkle, the Metabarons, all that stuff. I just haven't bothered with it. I heard it's amazing. Would you just get only volume 2 of any omnibus, or would it hit your OCD and get both volumes? I have to get both. My OCD is like really weird, where once I start a series, I kind of tend to buy it in bulk. For example, I just bought Berserk, the manga, and because of how my mind works, I bought like the first 5 volumes, just off the top, like that. Drew GB. Hey HC, morning. Wondering if you're going to pick up the Tokyo Ghost Deluxe, and what are your thoughts on the series? I read the first trade. The art is great. The story was a bit of a mixed bag for me. I was not crazy about the story, but I will definitely pick up the hardcover edition of it, simply because of the fact that it's Sean Murphy and Rick Remender, and they put together, in my opinion, they put together some of the best hardcover collections, with the Sean Murphy's Punk Rock Jesus being one of the best collections that I own in terms of special features, and Rick Remender's catalog, every hardcover he puts out is almost on point. The only exception being the Black Science hardcover, where the binding is glued in the second printing. I don't know why they decided to go with that route, but yeah. Hey HC, I really want to get into Daredevil run by Mark Waid. Should I purchase the hardcovers or wait for the omnibus? I mean, if you're this far into it and if you haven't read any of it, you might as well just get the omnibus. The omnibus comes out like in a few weeks, so get that. You know, I mean, if you haven't read any of it yet and you really want to get into it, the omnibus is the way to go. Dun, dun, dun. Do you think Moon Knight is just Marvel trying to have a Batman, or do you think he's a legit hero of his own merit? I think he's a legit hero of his own merit, and I urge you to pick up the Warren Ellis Moon Knight run. It was only about 6 issues. Pick that up, and you'll see he's very different from Batman. Also, I've heard the Jeff Lemire Moon Knight run that recently is coming out. It's actually really good as well. So. Talking about broadening your horizons, I can really recommend Black Sad. It's a European comic translated into English. Dark Horse is publishing them. Oh, absolutely. I have Black Sad. I have Black Sad, and I highly recommend the series. The art is, oh my god, the art on Black Sad is incredible. It is stunning, is what it is. And the stories are so good, too. If your Patreon goes to 10,000 bucks, what would you do? I'd probably pass out. I would quit my job and I'd pass out and I'd pay off all my student loans in like one swoop. I'd be able to pay off everything. Which I'm kind of happy actually with where it's at. It's at 340 right now, so that's really good. That's way better than I thought it would do. Dun, dun, dun. I love the art, man. Yeah, Black Sad's art is incredible. Do you prefer buying in trades or single issues? Would you wait for trades of your favorite series? Yes, I do in fact wait for most trades for my favorite series. It's very rare that I read things in single issues. There are a few books that I'm reading right now in single issues. The Flash, I'm enjoying that. Saga, I'm reading in single issues, which reminds me, I'm like 4 or 5 issues behind. I got to catch up on that. And Seven to Eternity, I'm reading it digitally. Most of the stuff that I'm reading it digitally, though. Ah, oh, you lucky bastard. You got the first printing of Black Science Deluxe. Okay, for those of you that don't know, Black Science, and you could find some of these in the wild. They're kind of hard to find, but you can. Black Science, Rick Remender's book, was originally published with a sewn binding. However, there was a printing error on some of the pages where some of the words were faded just a little bit. Not even that much, just a little bit. And some of those books got out into the wild. However, Image wasn't happy with it, so they reprinted Black Science. And what happened was that the reprint has glued binding on it. And the glued binding on it is pretty terrible. It's not that great. So a lot of fans were like, ah, damn. So if you find a sewn binding Black Science, get it, because it's actually worth more and it's harder to find than your traditional oversized hardcover of Black Science. How is Green Arrow Year One? It's good. It's really good. Green Arrow Year One is a very, very solid read. It's I believe the art was done by Jock, if I'm not mistaken. It's a fun read. You don't need to know anything about the character, and you go into it and you'll be fine. If you like the TV show Arrow, a lot of that stuff comes out of Green Arrow Year One. It's such a fun little mini series. Sinestro Corpse War or Greenland Anonymous, loving it so far. Yeah, and here's the thing about the Black Science hardcover: the text is perfectly still readable. Um, it's perfectly fine. You can read it. You'll be fine. You won't have to worry about, oh, I can't read the word bubbles or anything like that. It was just a dumb decision that they made, and they reprinted it without a sewn binding. Did you buy Batman and the Outsiders hardcover? I have not. Actually, I've been kind of curtailing back on my spending because there's going to be a few good things that I want to pick up in the next few weeks. I've only seen like half of Arrow season 1. I couldn't get into it. John Gilmer Mayer. Hey man, chances on slot Spidey Omnibus. Ooh, good question. I think it's a matter of time. With everything that they're with everything that they're doing with Spider-Man and all the omnibuses and all the hardcovers and all the trade paperbacks that are getting reprinted out there. I'm really surprised we haven't even seen a solicitation, at least for everything, at least for the first half of Slot's Spider-Man stuff. Everything leading up to the Superior Spider-Man. I'm surprised we haven't gotten an omnibus of that stuff leading up to Superior Spider-Man. Then you get an omnibus of Superior Spider-Man, and then you get an omnibus of whatever the hell Slot is doing right now. You can easily get about 3 omnibuses as of this moment worth of content from everything that Slot has done. So I'm expecting that in the next few years. You know, they're probably just waiting for Slot to finish his tenure on the character. I think it's about time that Slot ends it. I think Slot, he's a great writer. In fact, he's a really solid writer. I've had friends that meet him at cons that say he's one of the nicest guys that you could ever meet. He's just a giant dork. That he's a professional in every sense of the word. But it's time for some fresh blood, which is why I'm happy that Chip Zdarsky is now taking over and bringing back the Spectacular Spider-Man issues, because it's time for some fresh blood. It's time we get some new creative juices on Spider-Man. Have I seen the 2nd episode of Legion? I have not. I'm actually going to sit down with it tonight. I've been thinking about jumping into DC's Rebirth as I've heard positive things. Where would you suggest starting? Ooh, I suggest you start. If you're going to jump into DC Rebirth, I suggest you start with Superman. The Superman run on Rebirth has been great. Start there. You can start with Flash. Those are great jumping on points. You can really jump in any book and you'll be perfectly fine, because that's the whole point of DC Rebirth, where they basically said, look, we're going to bring back the continuity. We're saying, look, these books are great. Oh, I just read Detective Comics this week. The first trade paperback for DC Rebirth, really great choice. Really fun, really a great ride all the way through. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Let's see. What do you think is better, the CWDC shows or the Marvel shows? That's kind of hard. I mean, overall, look, I'm a bit of a Marvel fanboy. And the fact is that they are just killing it on Netflix. I mean, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, all fantastic shows. So I'm enjoying the hell out of that. Have Image cut back on their deluxe editions. Nailbiter Volume 2 and Lazarus Volume 3 are for quite some time. Are due for... Yeah, I'm wondering about that. Yeah. You would think we'd be getting Lazarus Volume 3 pretty soon. Nailbiter Volume 2 has to be around the corner. That has to be, because Nailbiter it's ending soon. Yeah, that's ending pretty soon. So you would think that they would get something. Is Detective Comics going to be your review? No, Detective Comics is not going to be my review this week. My review for this week should be Vision. Yeah, my review this week should be Vision, for those of you that are wondering. That should be the big review this week, and that should go up sometime towards the end of the week. Really dug it. I dug Detective Comics, though, for those of you that are wondering. I really liked it. It was really good. The Rebirth issues, and it left me wanting more. Ali Camel. Hey, man. I just saw your review for Vader by Robert Vasile. I just saw your review for Vader Volume 1 hardcover and just got Volume 2. Awesome. Were you picking up Volume 2? No. No, I won't be picking up Volume 2. I'm kind of waiting for them to collect it all. I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to collect it all. But it's good stuff. The Vader stuff is pretty good. It's really good stuff. I wasn't crazy about the first few issues of it. It's a really slow burn, but it does pick up and it gets better. Vision was so good. Vision was really good. It was really good. Do you think Dark Horse is better than Marvel and DC in terms of availability of their books? If I were to rank it, yeah. I mean, if I were to put them in a certain order, it would go Dark Horse, Marvel. No, Dark Horse, DC, then Marvel, because DC is actually pretty good about keeping their absolutes in print and reprinting a lot of stuff. Marvel is pretty terrible at it. I notice there are some online that are hard to get. That is often because they're good reads. Are there any that are rare that I perhaps will be lucky to find in Amsterdam worth reading? That's a really broad question. Obviously, you've got, your Fantastic Four by Hickman, your Annihilations. Those are the gems. X-Force, not the Rob Liefeld shitty X-Force, Uncanny X-Force, Omnibus. Those are really the big gems that everybody's pretty much hunting at the moment and trying to get their hands on. I haven't read the Alpha Flight Omnibus. Out of the 3 series, which one, according to you, is the best Batman comic? Batman, Detective Comics, or All-Star Batman? As of this moment, maybe it's because I read it yesterday, but I would say Detective Comics was the one that I had the most fun with. Yeah, I would say out of all of them that I've read, because I've read a little bit of each. I read a little bit of All-Star Batman, did nothing for me, and I was actually surprised at that because I'm a Scott Snyder fanboy, but it just didn't appeal to me. I read the first 5 or 6 issues of Tom King's Batman, and it's really good. It's really solid. But Detective Comics was the book that I had the most fun with out of the Rebirth stuff. That's the book that I was like, wow, this is actually really interesting. You're doing a lot of cool things with Clayface and a lot of these kind of C-list sidekicks that I didn't think about. It's a really fun read. Hi, Avi. Mm. Do I follow German YouTubers Earl Grey and Walt's channel? I think they both create content, especially Earl Grey. Open up. Earl Grey's cool. I've seen some of his stuff. He's a good YouTuber. Thoughts on the Solo Deluxe? I haven't read it. Do you buy digital copies of comics, or is that an uncool thing to do? I buy digital, by the way. Dude, read what you want. Read what you want, how you want, as long as you're supporting the industry. You know? My reviews and my videos are more of a guiding post for people that I go, hey, look, I found some cool shit. I think you'll enjoy this. But by all means, if you disagree with me, that's great. Form your own opinion about stuff. You know, I fully support somebody disagreeing with me as long as it's in a constructive way and not somebody going, "Oh, you fucking suck, you asshole, you're shitty at your job." Blah, 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 blah. I don't think your channel. Blah, blah, blah. Ugh. But yeah, I buy digital comics sometimes. I've said I've got a few digital subscriptions through Comixology. Dun, dun, dun. If you could have a choice of one comic collection to be printed tomorrow, what would it be? If you could have your choice of one comic collection to be printed tomorrow, what would it be? Probably an omnibus or an absolute edition of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, which I'm surprised we still don't have. I'm really surprised we don't have it. You check out Spread. It's like Walking Dead, but I've read some issues of Spread. Spread is good. Spread is really, really good for a horror comic, man. It's really good. I mean, I dropped it after the first few issues, but it's a really good horror comic. I've been meaning to go back to it. Did you happen to see the article online that spoiled the future of Jar Jar Binks? I laughed when I read what happened to him. Man, if he doesn't, I hope he's dead. I hope he gets disemboweled. Like Tusken Raiders just disembowel him. That'd be cool. I fucking hated Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, a lot of people. Robert Vasala, I see on Amazon pre-orders for Rebirth hardcovers volumes covering the first 2 volumes of trades. I'm holding out for those. I am too. I'm holding out for the hardcover deluxe editions of Batman, Superman, and Flash. I know those have already been solicited, so we're getting those in a few months, and I can't wait. Oh, why the DC Rebirth hardcovers 1 and 2 are being released together? Strange decision. Good. Do you know why the DC Rebirth hardcovers volume 1 and 2 are being released together? I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't know. I wish I could answer that for you, but, you know. I wish I could. Favorite TV show right now? As of this moment, that's a hard question. It'd probably be Legion. I've been digging the hell out of Legion. If you haven't seen Legion, it's so good. It's really good. Any news for an absolute of 100 bullets? Really hate those deluxe hardcovers out of print, and DC doesn't do reprints of these. No, I haven't heard anything about absolutes for 100 bullets. But for those of you here that you have not picked up your War of Kings, Realm of Kings Omnibus, the Realm of Kings Omnibus is back on in-stock trades at 50% off. So if you haven't and you're not following me on Twitter and Facebook, because I told you guys on Twitter and Facebook like a few days ago, you might want to pick that up right now. For those of you that don't follow me on Twitter and Facebook, shame on you. You miss out on information like that. Because I always post information like, look, this is back on in stock. Like a few weeks ago, I posted Klaus is back on in stock trades, things like that. I recently bought the Essex County slipcase hardcover. It was a bargain, but also a blind buy. What's your thought on Essex County? I haven't reviewed it, but there are plenty of fans out there that are like, dude, you have to pick up Essex County. It's so good. Like, you need to pick up Essex County. Do you think we will get a hardback? Do you think we will get a hardback reprint of BPRD or library editions? Dark Horse is very unpredictable with that stuff. Like, I'm surprised we haven't gotten reprints of that hardcover stuff. The library editions have been reprinted in trades, though. Not library editions. The hardcover BPRD Ultimate Collections have been reprinted in trades. Have I seen Seven Deadly Sins, the anime? Yes, I enjoy Seven Deadly Sins is fucking great. I can't wait to sit down and watch season 2. My girl loves Seven Deadly Sins. She likes it more than me. So does this mean that they already reprinted the War of Kings Omnibus? No, it probably just means that they had more stock and they were able to get more from the supplier. Don't want to ruin it. Should be on your Facebook page feed if you want to know what happened to him. I'll look it up after here. I don't care about Jar Jar Binks, to be honest. I hate the little bastard, so it's like, Yeah, about the whole War of Kings saga. Are they in continuity with Annihilation and Conquest, or not? Can you give me yeah, I can absolutely give you a reading order off the top of my head. Okay. So back around the time of Civil War, Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning, and God, I'm blanking on the third guy's name. They decided to reboot the Marvel cosmology. And the first thing that they did was they did Annihilation. So if you're going to go in order, you need to find the ridiculously hard to find and out of print Annihilation Omnibus. You need to get that. That's the first thing. Then you're going to need to get the sequel to Annihilation. You're going to need to get Annihilation Conquest. That takes place after the events of Annihilation. Granted, you really don't need Annihilation to read Annihilation Conquest, but still, it's a fucking great read. The art isn't the best in Annihilation, but, you know, Annihilation Conquest is good. So after Annihilation Conquest, you're going to want to get the Prelude to War of Kings Omnibus. That comes out in May, and for some reason, they printed these out of order. You're going to want to get that. And then you're going to want to read War of Kings, and then you're going to want to read Aftermath of War of Kings, Realm of Kings Omnibus, and that concludes the modern-day Marvel Cosmic Universe that we know today. And that should you should be fine with that. Speaking of Klaus, thoughts. I haven't read it yet. I have it. I haven't sat down with it. I have so many things to read and get through. It's just ridiculous. Which, according to you, is the best series Image Comics is publishing right now? Ooh, Lazarus. Lazarus for me is the best thing that Image Comics is publishing right now. I love Lazarus. Do you know when East of West will end? Stop reading it around issue 16 because it's too good to read once a month. Want to read all of it in one. I don't know. I don't know when the East of West will end. That's a Hickman deal. I don't know. Have you seen Lego Batman yet? Going to watch it in a couple of hours. I haven't. I haven't seen Lego Batman yet. What I want to see is next week. Is next week, yeah. Yes, next week Logan comes out. Oh man. Oh my gosh, it's been getting amazing reviews. It's been so good. It's been so damn good. It's been getting so many great reviews. I can't wait to watch Logan in a few weeks. And here's the thing. That day is going to be crazy for me because Logan comes out. Not only does Logan come out on that same day, we're also getting the Nintendo Switch and Zelda Breath of the Wild. That is crazy. And that week we also get Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to front load so much content so I could sit down and like play all these video games and watch all the. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a crazy week. It's gonna be an expensive week too. And then I think like a week or 2 weeks after that, we get Mass Effect, the next one. I'm like, there's just too much. There's absolutely too much going on. I can't wait for the summer when I actually have more time off and I could actually sit down and binge and play all these things. Ugh, man. Have you seen the Lego Batman yet? No. East of West is supposed to have 3 years. Is it supposed to have 3 years? I didn't know that. So that means we got year one. This hardcover is going to get year two. So we got one more year. We got one more hardcover deluxe edition, and then that'll be it. Lego Batman is hilarious. Batman is such a dick in it. Batman is a dick in the comics and in the cartoons. He's always been a dick. Yeah, Batman is not the nicest guy in the world, man. He's always been kind of a dick. The DC Rebirth deluxe hardcovers on Amazon are Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, Flash, Superman, Batman, Aquaman, and Justice League. I've heard good things about Aquaman. I'm going to check that out. Yeah, I think I've heard the same thing that you have, though, about East of West being 3 years. I don't know where it was that I heard about that. I don't know if it was that he mapped it out for 3 years or he genuinely had, he's got 3 years of I'm not exactly sure, but I've heard the same thing too. Thanks for answering my question earlier. You like Brian K. Vaughan, you should definitely read Pride of Baghdad. Same guy that did Noah. There's a deluxe hardcover of it. Are you talking about the Noah that was, what's his name? Oh my gosh, the Noah that filmmaker did. I like the guy's films and I can't remember. You just saw a solicitation for an Annihilation Omnibus for $635 plus shipping. Oh, plus shipping. You would think they would give it to you for, free. It's don't pay that. Don't pay that for an Annihilation Omnibus. It's not worth that much. No omnibus is worth that much, guys. It's never worth that much. I'm telling you right now. There are some guys out there that they just want to nickel and dime you for the most ridiculous prices. You know what? Let's take a look and see. Darren Aronofsky. That's the guy. I forgot the name of the director. Let's take a look at what an Annihilation Omnibus will go for on eBay right now. Just, curious. God, I know it's really ridiculous. And they've got Conquest. People are saying $300 for an Annihilation Omnibus. I've seen it cheaper than that, but that's about the ballpark price. Oh, you can get Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest for $700. Don't pay that. Just don't pay that, guys. God, some of these prices are absolutely bullshit. They're ridiculous. Don't pay that. These prices are ridiculous. Noah, yeah, Noah has beautiful art. I've read it. It's really good. It's Darren Aronofsky's original treatment for what he wanted to do for that movie. It's completely different than the actual movie. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this early. I have a lot of work to do. I need to catch up with a lot of stuff. It was a really light week for me last week simply because of Valentine's Day, everything going on, craziness, and the busiest week that I've had in a long time. And I apologize for that. And I apologize to patrons as well. I'm going to get caught up on a lot of that stuff today. For those of you that haven't, please check out my Facebook and Twitter where you get stuff like, hey, I'm telling you something's back on in-stock trades, something's back in stock. Those links are going to be found in the description below. And if you want to help a brother out and keep supporting this channel and keeping this channel alive, Patreon is found in the description, guys. I know everybody's got a Patreon. I know it's fucking annoying. Every YouTuber is promoting their patron and stuff like that. But please, check this out. It's how I'm able to support myself. It's how I'm able to buy the books and support this channel. And you get a lot of cool and exclusive videos like the Jess and Hardcover News Show. And I'm opening up a Q&A that's exclusive for patrons this coming week. So check out that stuff. You get pretty much all that stuff for $5. It's in the description below. I love you guys, and I will speak with you soon.